Hi, and welcome along to a game of two halves here on DR Sports with Mark Goldbridge in the building. How you doing, Mark? The international break is over, and was he chilling over in New York, right? It looked like he was having a good time, bro.
Yeah, it was. I don't mind that international break because it's the last one, and I've got to say the return of football. Even though I'm still waiting for Man United to play. Can't get any United players in Team of the Week, but it's been a very good weekend of Premier League football. I mean, even better for you as an Arsenal fan, but as a neutral, and I'm not really a neutral. I like watching Liverpool and Man City lose, but it was a really good weekend. Got loads of goals and loads of drama, and now we've got a great run of fixtures all the way through till New Year.
Yeah, no, it was a fantastic weekend of football, and like you said, great to have the football back, and now it will be on a run from now until Christmas, right? But let's get stuck into it. The big game of the weekend was the North London derby, which I was lucky enough to be at yesterday. Fantastic atmosphere, and it worked out perfectly for Arsenal. From the tifo, which I remember that tifo we did before, which everybody was laughing at, but I thought this one was brilliant. They got this one spot on with Sol Campbell at the top, right? Love that. And then from then onwards, it's almost like the perfect game for an Arsenal fan, especially if your name's called Eberechi Eze, the player that turned down Tottenham to join Arsenal, vindicating his decision by scoring a hat-trick. I think that's the first hat-trick any Arsenal player scored in the North London derby since 1978, which was Alan Sunderland,
Yeah.
And it was a great hat-trick and a great display by Arsenal, fully deserved win. You could argue it should have been more. At half-time, Mark, I looked at the stats from Tottenham, right? And basically, they had no shots at all. Obviously, none on target, and an XG of 0.
No corners as well.
No corners. I mean, they were unbelievably poor. Listen, North London derbies, even though at home Arsenal come out on top on most occasions, they're normally quite tight affairs. They're normally, back and forth. But if you're a Tottenham fan there yesterday, you must have been wondering what is going on. They were very, very negative in the way they set up, where they went to a back three with 3 centre backs. The two, wing backs, we basically just formed a back 5 with 2, holding midfielders in front of them. And then everything about them was negative. If they won a free kick in their own half, they'd send every player up and just lump it into the box. Honestly, they were the worst team to come to the Emirates this season. And if you're a Tottenham fan, you don't want to see that on a North London derby.
No, I mean, look, as a United fan, we played them last. I'm still baffled how we needed a last-minute equaliser because I don't think they were very good against us. But look, to play Arsenal a compliment, if I was managing a team against Arsenal at the moment, I'd probably... It's hard to know how to play because Spurs tried to open up in the second half and Arsenal could have scored 7. So I understand why teams are doing it. And I've said this a couple of times. It's not Arsenal's fault that they're not expansive when teams won't open up. And we saw like a team park in the bush yesterday. And that's why that goal from Trossard and the ball from Moreno was so good, because it was a goal for football, not just for Arsenal. Anti-football was defeated by a brilliant ball that took out a back 5. But I think Spurs are not Burnley. They're Tottenham. It's a North London derby. I mean, we've all seen it over the years. You've seen it with Spurs. I've seen it with Man City when they were crap. They used to play good United sides and they'd turn up and they'd have a go. And I think it's pitiful to lose 4-1 in that way when they could have come and had a go from minute 1. And to sit back in I think it's scandalous to do that in a derby, to go to, and especially when I think Arsenal are going to win the league this year as well, and Spurs are contributing to it by just not bothering to turn up. I thought it was shameful, really. But I don't know whether I blame Thomas Frank. I think I blame Spurs' identity, really. They are such a light switch team. He probably thought if we go there and have a go, they won't have a go. Spurs have got big problems. I saw people yesterday saying they're worse under Thomas Frank than they were under Ange. I mean, Ange lost over 20 games. Come on, let's get real. But they were miles off it. It was a good goal by Richarlison. But apart from that, I mean, Arsenal were actually... as he could have had 4 or 5. It was a daunting performance from Arsenal. And I think for all those people out there that don't want Arsenal to win in the media or even in your own fan base, that yesterday was a statement of, I know Chelsea's a difficult game next week, but they just look like they're capable of dealing with anything at the moment, Arsenal. And fair play, they're the best team in the league by a very long way.
Yeah, it was a great win. Listen, it's North London derby, right? It's one of those games that, as an Arsenal fan, every year it's the first game you look at. It's the game you want to win, but to win it in such emphatic fashion was brilliant. And I think Thomas Frank, you are right. Big Andrew's worse, but Thomas Frank's under pressure. I mean, I don't know how many losses that is now, but that's quite a few, isn't it? Like, well, we've got Bournemouth. They've lost to us. It's got to be about 5 defeats now for him. You know, he's starting to get to that stage. And when you lose like that in a North London derby, I know a lot of Tottenham fans, they will not be happy with the manner of the defeat. He's got to start getting some wins under his belt very, very soon. They're now 11 points off Arsenal, right? And he's got to start getting some wins, because I think with Big Ange, he was able to use the excuse of a load of injuries and stuff like that for big parts of the season. But if you're playing that style of football and you're not getting wins, you're going to be in trouble from the fans. And he's got to get his act together very, very quickly, Thomas Frank, because that style of football,
they've only lost 4 games, Robbie. They've only lost 4.
Yeah. 4 games.
Yeah, same as Man City. I thought they'd lost more than that. But look, they're 9th in the league now, and that's where they should be. They shouldn't be anywhere near the top 5, and actually that's where Spurs want to be. So yeah, it's like you say, you just can't turn up in a game like that and play like that. You've got to at least put a performance in.
Yeah, but well done to Eberici Eze. A magical performance from him. He's an instant hero now with all Arsenal fans, and he's scoring important goals now. You know, I mean, he scored the winner against Palace, hat-trick in this game. Really is starting to grow into the role, and he must be thinking to himself this morning, I made the right decision. Xavi Simons, who they bought instead of him, didn't even start the game and looked a little bit more livelier when he came on in the second half. I mean, it was crazy from Spurs, but as an Arsenal fan, I'm very, very happy and absolutely buzzing this morning. Even more buzzing after some of the crazy results over the weekend that really helped out Arsenal. Let's start with Liverpool. Liverpool losing 3-0 at home. At home. Now, I know they lost at home to Forest last year, but that was like a shock, you know, out of the blue. Yeah. This one weren't. 3-0. They even had a goal disallowed, you know, Forest, which I'm still trying to work out why. I mean, it is now a full-blown crisis. And I know you won't mind that as a Man United fan, but it's a full-blown crisis now. Arne Slot, I heard a lot of Liverpool fans saying, you know, some for the first time, that he needs to go.
Yeah, I think it's interesting with Arsenal, with Liverpool, because I think, just looking at the league table there with them, if anyone's a Star Wars fan, it's Order 66, because they've won 6 and lost 6. It's terrible what's going on there. And I think we're all sort of smiling about it. But then there is that terrible thing that Man United have had over the years, where you sort of start to feel a bit like what's going on at Liverpool, because they were so bad on Saturday, and having lost to Man City before the break, you felt that this would be the time where they start to kick on. It's a home game and you'd expect them to win. But look, Forest keeper played well. Anderson made a brilliant start in the first few minutes. Liverpool probably should have gone 1-0 up. But from that point, Forest sort of, you know, they had a goal disallowed that was legit. They've won 3-0. They could have scored more. You can score goals against Liverpool. That's the problem at the moment. They've got so many players underperforming: Salah, Van Dijk, McAllister. Their new signings aren't working. That they've got huge problems, and I don't actually think it. I sort of contemplating this. I don't really know. Like, you see some Liverpool fans reacting. We're in the business. We know that happens. It happens with United. It happens with Arsenal. You have a bad result and people start screaming for the manager. And we have seen managers get sacked, like Jose, after winning the league. So it can happen.
Ranieri as well.
Yeah. I don't think it happens with Liverpool. I think they're a different type of football club. The 2 questions for me are, I think you've got to start questioning Slot. I think that's absolutely correct. The second thing I would say is, I don't know where I would go if I sacked Slot at this point. I think surely they're going to buy in January, which means why would you sack Slot as well? And also, I think the problems at Liverpool, Robbie, are probably bigger than Slot, if we're being honest. It's not like last season with City, I felt Rodri was the reason it all fell apart. With Liverpool, yeah, all right, Salah, yeah, Van Dijk, but then, you know, what about Isak? What about the midfield? What about the defense? What about, you know, there's so many things. And obviously, I'm not going to skirt about the issue. I know it's a controversial thing to say for some, but I think it's very valid. I think the Jota thing's had a big issue. Andy Robertson mentioned it in the international break. So I think there's multiple issues with Liverpool at the moment, and it's hard to see them. The most important thing is it's hard to see them turning it around. They've got West Ham next week. I just don't think they look in the right frame of mind at all. And for weeks we've been talking about at some point they're going to start playing well. And I actually don't think that's a given anymore. I think they're really struggling.
All right, me and you, Mark, we're sort of like, for what he did last year, he deserves some. I feel if he was an Arsenal manager and he won the league for me last year, I'd be like, nah, he was still in the Champions League, doing all right in that. Leave it for now. Mm. But how many more games do you leave it for? Because he's lost 6 now. Mm. I think with Arsenal winning yesterday, I think the title race is over for them. That's 11 points off. And don't forget, right, what it is, it's 11 points off of us, but then there's other teams like, you know, Chelsea, City's far ahead of them now.
Got to go to the
Emirates. They're going to have to sum out 3 teams. Probably the title's gone.
Yeah.
But how many more games can he afford to lose before people say, nah, that's, you know, when I say people, not fans, the people who make the decisions say, nah, especially between now and Christmas, because like you said, when January comes, that's when decisions are being made on, you know, who to bring in and stuff like that. They've already spent 450 million. They'll probably try and get Gay and players like that. But do they want Slot managing that? How many more games can he afford to lose between now and then?
I said it for the first time after the game on Saturday. I think you now genuinely have to start looking at Slot's position, because, you know, I think the issues go bigger than that. But a manager must always be under scrutiny. And I think you're right. I think between now and Christmas, the games he's got, and unfortunately as a United fan, I've got multiple experiences of United sacking managers before Christmas, and the games that get you sacked aren't Arsenal and Liverpool. The games that get you sacked are what they've got: West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Brighton, Spurs. He can't afford to lose 2 of them. He might get away with losing 1 of them, but they're the sort of games, if you lose those games, you're in big trouble. Like he did at the weekend, losing 3-0 at home to Forest. Yeah, Man City's not good, but losing 3-0 at home to Forest, that's why he's in big trouble. So West Ham next Sunday becomes absolutely massive for them. Then Sunderland in the midweek game. They've got to go and win the next 2 Premier League games just to give him a bit of respite. And it's amazing to say it, Robbie, but you're looking at Liverpool now, like we were looking at like Amrim. It was Carragher who said Amrim won't survive till Christmas. It might be Slot. He's got to almost survive till Christmas now, and then, you know, look at it like that.
Yep. And then Manchester City also dropping points. That was a great game against Newcastle. They dropped points, but Pep Guardiola very unhappy after the game. He's even arguing with the cameraman, right? I mean, he did he have some valid arguments? Let's talk through. There were a couple of incidents before we get to how good Newcastle were. There were a couple of incidents that he was moaning about. The first one was Phil Foden, the penalty, the penalty shout. Penalty for you? He did get his shot off, but was that a penalty?
No, I understand why people say it was Stonewall, but my interpretation is that if he'd scored that chance, which he should have done, would Man City want the penalty? They'd want the goal. He's had a good enough chance to score that goal, and it is a foul. But we see that all the time. It's a genuine attempt to make a block. He's not made a block. He's caught the player. It is a foul, but we all know it's different in the penalty box. And people say, oh, if it's outside the box. Man City would not want a penalty if Foden had scored, and Foden should have scored. So for me, I understand it's a foul, but I don't want to see penalties given for that. So
we had one similar, Mark, where we didn't get the penalty. Where same thing, shot was got. I think it was Zocares. Shot was got off before the foul was committed, and we didn't get it. What about the second one, the handball?
It does hit his hand, but again, I mean, handball is very difficult to interpret. I do agree with City fans saying why that's not a handball, but for me, it is very close to his body. And I would lean towards no on that one as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it was a great game. Both teams in the first half were missing Harvey Barnes, as soon as the game started, missed an easy chance. Haaland missed chances. Volta missed chances. Right? You're thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was a good game, like you say.
But then the second half, I thought the midfield of Newcastle was very good. That is their strength. And they turned up on Saturday. They bossed that midfield, and then Harvey Barnes was clinical. And I mean, quite a damaging defeat for City, because they could have put a lot of pressure on Arsenal ahead of that North London derby, and they released that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, having watched the game, I do feel like it's not really City in crisis, because it was a good game and it could have gone either way. But I think the disappointment for Pep will be the fact that they beat Liverpool. They know that Arsenal got a couple of difficult games. If they beat Newcastle, they've got some more straightforward games, and basically losing that game sort of lets the pressure off Arsenal and sort of shows the frailties of Man City, that they're not actually ready to win a title. And I think that was where Pep's frustration was coming from. I expected them to win that game, but they, typical after the international break away from home performance. And yeah, you'd be disappointed with that. But I don't look, they're not out of it yet, but they don't look as strong as Arsenal at the moment.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. They're definitely not out of it. But how often do you see their midfield getting bossed? I think if they can get Rodri back, and Rodri gets back to any sort of form, that will help them a lot, because that midfield did get dominated, I felt, by the sort of, I mean, listen, Joe Linton was allowed about 10 fouls before he got a yellow card, but they get away with that up at St James's Park. But City very disappointing in that game. Opened it up for Chelsea, who are actually in second place now. Chelsea, they're 6 points behind Arsenal. Face Arsenal next week, but that was a good win away to Burnley. Everybody knows that when you go away to Burnley, they're going to put up a lot of fight. They don't really have a lot of quality up front, but Chelsea do. And Chelsea, good 2-0 win. 12:30 kickoff. Listen, nobody wants a 12:30 kickoff straight after the international break away at Burnley. But I thought Chelsea handled it brilliantly.
Yeah, I thought a lot of people saying are Chelsea in a title race. Well, they're second in the league, so you've got to say they are. I mean, I don't believe they are. I don't think Chelsea are ready to win a title, but stranger things have happened. But their form over the last few games, 5 wins out of 6, is very, very good. And they've got a knack of winning games where they're not necessarily, grabbing the headlines. So look, you've got them next Sunday. I think for the good of the league, as much as I'd rather Arsenal win the league over Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool, I don't want you to have it won by Christmas. I know you do, but I want
good of the league. Who cares about the good of the league?
I do. I'm a purist. I want a title race.
You ain't a purist, right? If it was Man United, you wouldn't want no good of the league, right?
No, I wouldn't. You're right. but yeah, look. I think if Arsenal win that game next week, which I think they will, that is a huge issue for everybody other than Arsenal, because for me, they're miles ahead of everybody. They've got the best. I mean, look at the players you've got out injured. Then you look at the bench yesterday. The quality is just ridiculous. You don't concede goals. People need to score worldies to score against you. Chelsea, I don't think they'll be able to deal with Arsenal. But if they get something next week, it makes it a little bit interesting going into the Christmas break. And I think a lot of people will be hoping Chelsea get something, the Man Cities, etc. But look, that's a big task, especially they do no Cole Palmer as well, who's still injured. Yeah. They're doing well.
They had no Caicedo as well, and they still cruise to that win. Another team that are doing really well at the moment, Aston Villa. They had a poor start to the season, but they're playing really well. Morgan Rogers with 2 great goals yesterday, and Villa up into 4th.
Temporarily, United will be there tonight, but Villa doing well. They had a terrible start, didn't they? And again, they've won 5 of their last. I mean, the only loss was that silly Liverpool one where they went and tried to play out from the back. So they're doing really, really well. And look, top 4 is up for grabs. It is. I think Arsenal, Chelsea, City will be top 3, but with Liverpool at the moment, and 5th place probably does get you Champions League. It's a real opportunity, and Villa at the moment are grabbing it, and hopefully United will as well. It's interesting. Liverpool aren't guaranteed top 4 at the moment, which is, forget the title. Yeah. They've got to get back winning games to get top 4.
Yeah, Big up to Crystal Palace. They were temporarily in the top 4 positions before Villa won that game yesterday. They beat Wolves by 2-0. Wolves, they're going down 2 points now. Rock bottom. No wins this season. They're looking woeful at the moment. Fulham, big win for them, winning 1-0 against Sunderland. And Brighton beating Brentford by 2-1. That's a game where the two sets of owners really don't like each other. That's sort of like an owners' derby. So the owners would have been very happy of Brighton that they got that. Came from a goal behind, and Brentford missed the last-minute penalty as well. And Bournemouth 2, West Ham 2. West Ham are, they were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth fought back. But West Ham are starting to pick it up a bit, aren't they?
Yeah. Not in the bottom 3 anymore. Nuno's doing a good job. Just going back to Palace, though, I was looking at this. This is incredible. And they don't get shouted out enough for this. 9 goals conceded. The only team in single figure digits, apart from obviously Arsenal. And they've only lost 2 games, which is second only to Arsenal as well. So Palace are defensively, and the same last year.
And they lost Eze.
Yeah.
And they lost Eze, like their best player. I mean, Oliver Glasner's doing a great... I saw him being suggested for the Liverpool job as well. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job at Crystal Palace, and they're in 5th place, just a point behind Aston Villa. As we look at the table, Arsenal are top, 29 points now, 6 above Chelsea in 2nd place on 23. Man City 1 back on 22 in 3rd place. Villa just a point behind them on 21 points in 4th place. And as I said, Palace in 5th, Brighton in 6th. The bottom of the table, Wolves rock bottom, 2 points. Burnley on 10 points. Leeds in that bottom 3 on 11 points. West Ham just out there on 11. But it was a big win for Nottingham Forest. They come out of the bottom 3. They are on 12 points. So that was a massive, massive win. And Sean Dyche really is starting to pick it up for them. But if Manchester United win tonight, they could be up into the top 4 mark, right? Top 4. I mean, it's a big opportunity. Yeah. Big
got
opportunity.
Some good fixtures as well. Got some good fixtures coming up. It's a weird old league. I don't think Man United are doing that well this year. We're doing better than last year, but it just shows you that Palace, Villa, Man United, Brighton, there is an opportunity there in the top 4 or 5, and I expect us to go on a good run. And obviously it's very early days, but it's great compared to last year. I do think in relation to the relegation zone, though, those bottom 3 are going down. I think it's starting to. It's sad, really, because I thought we were going to get a relegation battle, but West Ham and Forest changing the managers. Fulham obviously won again. I just think Leeds and Burnley have got into the rhythm of losing, and Wolves, forget about it.
Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. United, do you think they can get top 4 this season? I mean, 1 game a week. They got, some really good players. Will that AFCON affect you guys? Because Mbeumo's been brilliant. Ahmad, those 2 will be gone for, depending on how far Cameroon go into competition. They'll be gone for quite a while. Mazarari's another one who's going to be going, isn't he? Will that affect United?
The fixtures we've got around that, I would sort of seen Liverpool do it over the years, and they seem to do okay. So I'm hopeful that we've got enough with the Mason Mounts and the Xerxes and people like that, because of the quality of the opposition, we should be okay. And the way we play, we're very direct. We don't really rely on possession. So I'm hopeful that we can get through that. And look, I still think Liverpool will come back. I mean, it's ridiculous where Liverpool are. We spoke about Liverpool, but the quality of players they've got, they should be able to get top 4. So if Man United get top 4, it'll be an incredible season. I'd be very content with 5th. I think that will be Champions League football. And from where we were last year, we've shaved a 1 off the position, and we go from 15th to 5th. I'd be very, very happy. So I think that would be a huge improvement. And I think the problem we've made, and Arsenal have it as well, some of our fans run away very quickly from reality. And, some people will start talking about titles and stuff like that. Forget it. So I think 5th is what we've got to go for. And if we get 4th, Amrim deserves huge credit for it.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mark, thank you very much. Actually, just before you go, let's get a prediction for tonight.
We're doing Team of the Week.
Oh, we've done team of the week.
He's had 2 weeks off. He's forgot.
No, we've been away,
and it's
man.
the 1 week I've actually prepared for it. That's why I've remembered it.
But what's your prediction for tonight first?
4-0.
4-0?
Yeah. That's what we beat them last year. I'm being a bit disrespectful to Everton, but you know when you've got to win a game and you've got to send a message. It's not just we've got to. I think we will tonight. Yeah.
4.
Maybe 3.
2-1. I think it'd be a bit closer than that, but I think you win.
Yeah.
Right. Team of the week.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you got. Let's see. Give me a goalkeeper back 4.
Well, I saw you went with Sanchez in goal, and I was like, it's Burnley. They're absolutely crap. So I went with Sells. I think Sells deserves it. He did make some big saves.
True, that Sells. I guess Liverpool. He did pull off some good saves, but I don't know. Watching that game, I thought that Sanchez. That was one of his best performances I've seen from him. Like his distribution.
Areola played well as well, but he did concede 2.
Yeah. All right. We'll go with Sells. I like that. Forest. You know what I mean? That was the big win of the weekend, I thought. So yeah, Forest.
And I've got Muniz, Murillo. However you spell that, pronounce that Newcastle defender's name. I thought he played really well.
Brilliant.
And Lewis Hall in my back 4. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Hall 4 and Murillo as well, but I put Urian Timber in there. I thought yesterday, brilliant again, so strong. Nobody gets past him. He was superb again yesterday. So was I thought Saliba was excellent as well, but 4 and Murillo definitely deserved. I'm sure in Timber. I thought he's brilliant.
He's the best right back in the league by a long way, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah. All right, let me give you my midfield. I went Eze, obviously, hat trick, absolutely brilliant. I went Andre Santos of Chelsea. I thought he played really, really well. When you consider Caicedo has been their best player this season, sat out the game, and I thought he was really good, Andre Santos, in that sort of holding position, mopped everything up. And Morgan Gibbs-White, really good performance by him at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, I put Santos in there because I didn't really watch the Chelsea game, but loads of people in the chat yesterday were saying you've got to put him in team of the week with Robbie. So I have. I agree with you about Eze. And I went Anderson over Morgan Gibbs-White, but realistically, much of a much. I thought they were both brilliant, and it just depends what you prefer. But yeah, absolutely agree.
All right, give me your front 3.
Yeah, I've gone with obviously Morgan Rogers, Harvey Barnes, and to give it a bit of balance, 2 goals, Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
I know what you've done. I know what he's done.
I had Trossard in there.
Get ready.
I had Trossard in there. Who
did play well.
Goal and an assist. Brilliant, I thought he was.
Not a striker though, is he?
No, but he plays on the 3 forward players. He plays on the left wing. Callum Wilson was good, scored 2 goals, but it's my show, right? So Trossard is staying in, right? Trossard gets a position.
Nothing's changed on the international break then, has it, really? But no, I mean, look, I'll put my hands up. I watched the Arsenal game. Trossard played well. I didn't watch the West Ham game. I just saw 2 goals from Wilson.
To be fair, Mark, he scored some good. The second goal was an excellent finish as well. And, when you think, he's coming back from injury, he's playing back for, all the injuries he's had. It was a very good performance. But I'm going Trossard just because the magnitude of the game.
Yeah.
I just thought Trossard, and he unlocked that first goal, the all-important one. He unlocked it. So Trossard, I'm putting him. But listen, guys, you may disagree, as you always do. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to be back on Friday on Just Football with Mark. And we'll be taking a look at our predictions. I know nobody got that Liverpool one, that's for sure, right? But it's going to be really interesting to see where we're at following the weekend's games. That's going to be really interesting. But Mark, thank you very much. Have a good day. Enjoy tonight. Obviously, you'll be covering the game on United Stand. Yeah. Looking forward to 3 points for United and get back amongst it. Top 4 looms. All right, Mark, thank you very much. Thank you to you guys. And we'll be back on Friday on Mark's channel. We'll be looking ahead to the weekend's games. Big one, Arsenal-Chelsea.